Okay. And
Wait a minute.
Carrie, do
I
you
don't-
have the agenda pulled up?
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, if you want to go ahead and get us started.
Okay. Who's going? Okay. I'm gonna call the meeting to order. And I'm going to ask who's here. Okay. Adams County. Brown. Clinton.
Oh,
Okay.
Adams County is here. Okay.
Yeah.
Melinda. Okay.
Fayette. Gaia. Highland. Jackson.
We're here from Jackson.
Great. And how many individuals do you have participating?
Give me 1 second.
Okay. Lawrence.
I thought Aaron was going to be here, but I haven't seen him yet. So he may join us.
Meg.
Thank you, Jackson. I got that.
Pickaway.
Here.
Pike. Ross.
Allison is here. Hi, Allison.
Soda.
Hi. Hey.
Me, Bill, and Teresa.
All right, Sayota, good.
And Vinton.
Okay, Sherry, so I saw that we have Adams, Jackson, Pickaway, Ross, and Sayota. Did I miss anybody? Okay.
Okay. Now, the agenda items. Courtney Davis called the called the meeting to order. Because I waited on it last time.
Yep.
Get details about our group and welcome new members, Buckeye Community Services. Guest presentation by Lisa Rimming from Ohio Can, and David Handler from Recreation Unlimited. Full presentation can be viewed on our YouTube channel. Upcoming events: Art of Ohio presentation via Zoom, February 15th at 7 p.m. DD Awareness Advocacy Group, March 3rd, 2022, at Ohio Tech Ambassadors Kickoff Event, February 23rd, 2022, from 2 to 3 p.m. Okay.
All right, great. Do we
That's what I got there.
Okay, good. If you want to ask for a motion to approve.
Okay, now. Okay, I did the roll call. Okay. What? Approval.
A motion to approve. Do we have a motion to approve?
Okay. Open issues.
Sherry? Yep, Sherry, you need to ask for a motion to approve the meeting minutes.
Okay.
Yep.
That's why I started you,
Yeah.
and you interrupted me. Approval for last month's meetings.
I saw Melinda firstly had for Adams County.
Okay, Melinda, yep, perfect. Thank you, Melinda.
I,
And do we have a second?
Wilson,
Alright.
second.
All
Courtney.
right, thanks,
I'll
Al.
say, yeah.
Yep. If I unplug all this, we'll still.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, great. Sherry, you
Or
can
do
move on.
certain table that wants to watch it, like TJ and Connie, or. Yeah, I'm just gonna set it right there on Kevin's desk. They can all watch it if they want to. Got this meeting going on. I see.
Okay, perfect. All right, Sherry, you can go ahead and move on to ongoing.
Okay.
business.
Open issues, working for a change. Open discussion on individual policy level issues.
You see too, TJ?
almost.
Travis, do you want to kind of explain to the group kind of what we're trying to do with this working together for change open issue?
In regards to the mentorship program or what?
No, just kind of, talking about things that we would like to change.
I get them right here. I can work.
Can we get them to mute their,
Yeah, who
There
is
might-
that? I'm not sure who that is. Here, maybe.
try the India or Melinda? Oh, they're already all muted. Okay.
I know, but I'm still hearing somebody. Okay, maybe that's better.
Okay, you're good now.
Okay.
All right, so in regards to the working together for change, we've been we've been brainstorming ideas of what we want to see changed within the disability community. And a lot of the things we've come up with have been in regards to like hotel accommodations or fixing different facilities in and around our communities to make them more accessible. I don't know where else you want me to go with that, Courtney, other
Yeah.
than, because we haven't really done anything
Yeah.
to
And we're
move forward.
right. So these are just changes that our group could work on, or at least inform our superintendents that they're issues.
Right.
And so that we can somehow change legislation if we need to, like that's what we want to work towards. So this working together for change, we keep it on our agenda every month so that we can just discuss things that you experienced in the last month that weren't great, because, maybe it was because of the disability you have, or maybe it wasn't, but things that at work, in your community, transportation, any kind of problems anybody's having, because if you've had it, somebody else probably has as well. So we're just going to kind of open the floor. And has anybody had any issues in these last couple of months that you just thought, you know what, this isn't right, this isn't fair? It could have happened to you, or it could have happened to one of your friends. Being an advocate, it's standing up for yourself, but also standing up for others, or speaking out for others who can't. So did anybody have anything they'd like to talk about?
I don't particularly have something that happened to me or to somebody else that I know, but I was watching a TV show over the weekend on HGTV. It was one of those home remodeling shows called 100 Day Dream Home.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen it or not.
I've seen it advertised.
They basically build you a home within 100 days, which is kind of interesting to see because normally it takes a year to build it. And there was a lady that was moving, or she'd been living with her mother who's elderly. And well, not elderly, she's in her later years, and she was living on her own. And the daughter wanted to move out of the mom's house and provide a space of her own that her mother could come eventually live with her, which happened to be on the same property. So they just kind of split the property in half, and the daughter built on the back part of the property a new home. And they kept throwing around the word the handicap accessible, you know, and the only reason they were saying that is because they were going to put, you know, smoother thresholds on the doorways, and they were going to put, you know, less carpet in the house and more hardwood. They were going to put grab bars in the showers and the bathroom where needed, and they were going to widen the hallways. And yeah, that might work for that person, but there's a broader, a bigger picture when it comes to handicap accessibility. It's not just somebody who's in a wheelchair, and
Right.
we need to kind of open the eyes of the people and tell them, hey, there's more disability than just somebody who uses a chair to get around, or the grab bars in the bathroom. The blind, deaf community, there's, you know, all sorts of different communities that we could encompass into that one bubble.
Yeah, nice.
So
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. And it's, you know, it's hard when building a home, because you kind of got to think in that moment of someone that's, you know, going to be directly impacted, and hopefully that's going to be her lifelong home. And so
Right.
they were probably really thinking about, you know, what accessibility needs she had. But yeah, when they go to sell the house, can you really say it's handicap accessible if, you know, A, B, and C aren't done?
and the more I think about it, you know, I think of the ADA and I'm like, it's Americans with Disabilities Act. It's not the Americans with People in Wheelchairs Act. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right. Yeah,
don't just, you know, design something and make it feasible for somebody who's in a wheelchair. Make it feasible for every person with a disability,
yeah,
you know?
sure, for sure. Awesome. Anybody else have any comments on that, or?
Bill sounds like he's got something.
Well,
While he's thinking about that, I think they should call it like the American Limitations Act or something. You know what I mean? It's not
Right, just
just
it's not
one
that-
specific people.
yeah, for sure.
You don't want your computer on there?
He's having trouble with his computer.
Yeah, Allison, I agree. She says owning your own house, you can modify it to meet your own needs. It's hard to design a house for everybody because everyone has different needs. And I think that's what's so hard about our community, is that, you know, you could have two people that have cerebral palsy and they have completely different needs. So
Absolutely.
it makes it really, really difficult.
Hey, Courtney,
Yes,
when we get to it, I have an upcoming event that I'm going to add to our
great.
things.
Great. We always want upcoming events. Bill, did you have something to say, or? Okay, all right. Did anybody else, thank you for that, Travis. Did anybody else experience anything that you thought, you know what, this isn't fair, or this was hard? Or you weren't able to do something because you weren't able to access it? Anybody else have any issues?
I think it would be neat to get cities and talk to them about snow removal and placement of snow when they're, you know, plowing the roadways and putting snow piles in front of ramps when it shouldn't be that way.
I know, yeah,
You know, it's so hard.
it is.
but.
And that's something, I mean, we could talk to ODOT about
Yeah.
that. I mean, we should be able to talk to our regional
Absolutely.
ODOT, what do they call it? I know they break ODOT up into sections.
Managers should be someone we could contact at ODOT.
Who was it, Teresa? Sorry.
Most counties have mobility managers who work with ODOT.
Ah,
Are you
okay.
talking about Are you talking about MORPC? Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Committee?
No, I'm talking about mobility managers who
Okay.
actually work for ODOT. Yeah.
Yeah, I know who the one is for Pickaway County. He's
Yeah.
really new, but he's awesome.
Yeah. That would
Yeah.
be kind of someone cool to just kind of come talk to our group though and hear about our concerns, but also just talk to us about transportation in general.
Because Pickaway County is trying to start a region-wide task force of getting different companies together to work together to provide better transportation instead of it being, each company for themselves and working just in their county or whatever it may be.
Right.
It's more, more of a help, here and there when need be, if one company can't do it, when we can rely on somebody else to help.
Yeah.
So that's what they're doing in Pickaway County, or they're looking at.
Cool.
Is starting.
Yeah. I mean,
Logan County does that. They
Yeah.
divided their county into regions right down to the ferry boats.
oh, cool. Teresa, what county did you say? Kind of broke up.
Cuyahoga.
Cuyahoga. Okay. So it's up on the river or the lake.
Good old
Right.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, transportation is a huge issue, especially in Southern Ohio in our region. So we've got to figure out something in the next couple of years. So if you guys have any good ideas, Teresa and I are possibly working on a project this year on that.
If the Cuyahoga County or county area do it,
Anybody
know,
can, because that's a bit,
how
well, Cuyahoga always has more resources
Right.
than we're gonna have because they are a bigger county with bigger cities in it. But yeah, I mean, we can always look at that model and see if it can be adapted in some way
yes,
for sure.
and that's what they're looking at. They've been studying those type of things with Pickaway County just to kind of see a model of what can be done here.
Yeah, that's
Potential.
cool. Pickaway County is a special one because we're just full of farms.
I know, right?
Full of farms.
Cool.
Yeah,
Hey,
cool.
Courtney.
Okay, anything else?
Courtney,
Yeah.
what county is Buckeye Community Service in?
Jackson.
Jackson.
Yep,
okay.
they're you guys are located kind of right outside of the downtown Jackson area, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually have,
Couldn't quite get
Teresa.
that.
we actually have a couple from Gallia County that we work with, a couple from Benton County that
Before
are here,
we get off,
but the majority of my folks
we get
are
off,
from
I
Jackson.
want to
Okay,
talk.
great. That's good to know. I'll put that down. So Gallia and Vinton are both represented.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Awesome, guys.
Did you hear me, Teresa? Once we get off of here, we need to talk to you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, great, guys. Well, for sake of time, we do have
The more
a
maybe it's harder.
we do have a presentation today. So for sake of time, I think we've talked about some good issues and we can kind of keep discussing those in the future and maybe try to meet with I think it would be cool to meet with ODOT or somebody with transportation and have them to join our group. So maybe when we go back to in person or we figure out what we're going to be doing here, maybe that would be somebody good to come talk to us from the community.
Courtney, I can email the mobility coordinator for Pickaway County if you'd like
Okay,
to see.
Cool. Yeah, and it
Maybe-
might be like kind of good for us to maybe find mobility coordinators or managers in our entire region, like find them all, just to kind of have a resource to share with our group. So Travis, we can kind of put that on our to-do list.
Absolutely. I think
Okay.
that would be a thing because that could include Ross at some point. You never know.
Exactly.
So
Yep. Yep. Cool. All right, great. All right, awesome. Sherry, well, let's go ahead and go on to new business.
I'm sorry.
Let's go ahead and move on to new business on our agenda.
Okay, next, new business is a mentor program for high school students. Okay, A, the transition coordinator for each county.
All right, guys, so this is something we have been working on through the pandemic, and it has been a little difficult, but I think that we want to continue to work on this, and maybe it's not this year, but once we get back into in-person and we can really start working on this, our goal for our group is to be mentors for high school students who are transitioning into adulthood. You know, they've graduated high school and they're like, okay, now what am I going to do? We want to be those mentors because you guys have all been through it. So we want to be a mentor group for those students to be able to call us and talk to us and just kind of be mentored, you know, by us, you know, with questions they have. Anything to, I want to live on my own. How do I do that? To, I don't have transportation to work. What, you know, how can I get transportation? So just, we want our group to have some expertise in those areas and kind of categorize it and break it down a little bit. So we know, you know, okay, they can go to Bill and Sherry if they want to get married and they don't know how to get married, they can go to Bill and Sherry, you know, and things like that. So this is just something we want to keep on our agenda as something we keep talking about. We may not be able to talk about and create this contact sheet and information sheet today, but we want you to keep thinking about it and keep it in the forefront of your mind. We do need information on transition coordinators from each county. I think we only have, I think, Pickaway, maybe Scioto on that list right now. So that's what we need from you guys. Any county that's represented today, we need to know who your transition coordinators are at your county boards who work with the high school students transitioning to adulthood so that we can reach out to them and let them know that we're here.
And if you can get the list of the those people in the school districts, that'd be also helpful.
Yeah,
as well.
exactly. And yeah, your transition coordinator may not even be at your county board. It may be
Right.
Staff at your actual high schools and school programs. Okay, so just if you get any of you can do that, that would be wonderful. And then Sherry, we'll just kind of move on to upcoming events.
Okay. Now, are we doing upcoming events?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Out of Ohio, Wonderful World of Waiver Update, April the 7th from 6 to 8 p.m. And there's a link you can get on. It's HT.
Sherry, you don't have to read that
Right.
for us. You don't have to read that for us, but you have to register for that. You have to click on that link. So everybody should have the agenda. So you just click on that to register.
Okay, and Ohio Tech Ambassador intro event with Brad Weimer for March 16th from 1 to 2 p.m.
All right, guys,
it's
I want to know, has anybody attended any Ohio Tech Ambassador events in the
I've done
past 2 years?
one or two.
One or two. Teresa has. Awesome, good. So SoCog has a grant that we are currently working on where we hire tech ambassadors around the state of Ohio to talk and mentor on supportive technology and remote supports. So this is something, if you are interested in becoming more independent with technology, these are the events to come to. Brad Whitmoyer is one of our new tech ambassadors that we just hired, and he is an unbelievable person. He has very limited mobility he's in a wheelchair and he can't really use his hands. So he uses eye gaze to control his communication board. He's just an amazing person. He has tons of supportive technology that he uses in his home, and he owns his own business. So it really highly suggest coming to Brad's event tomorrow. Again, it is from 1 to 2 in the afternoon. So Buckeye, I don't know if you guys kind of can set this up for tomorrow, but it's definitely, if you have anybody interested in remote supports, this is the event to go to. So you do have to register via Zoom just so that you can get the Zoom details. So that link is there as well. All right. And then Travis, you said you had another upcoming event.
Yeah. So for those of you guys who are aware or may not be aware, March 21st is World Down Syndrome Day. And to celebrate that, what we have done here in Pickaway County is wear crazy socks and then post them to social media. So on March 21st, if you guys could wear your crazy socks and then hashtag rock your socks Pickaway, or you can send them to the pictures to me through my email, and I can get them to our person who does our posting to all of our social media, and we can just show our love for the people who have Down syndrome and support them.
Cool. Awesome.
Travis, we need to
Yep.
link up because Scioto County's doing basically the same thing. So we need
Okay.
to hook up in a day or two so we can trade info
Absolutely.
and make it wider.
Yeah,
Yes,
that'd be cool. And then SoCog can share your guys' Facebook posts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
So if you're any of the links for Instagram or Twitter, you can just put the hashtag rock your socks Pickaway, and we could show our love to the people with Down syndrome.
Cool. And then that is this coming Monday, March 21st. That is crazy that March is flying by so fast.
Yes.
But March 21st is Monday. So wear your crazy socks. All right, great. Thanks, Travis. Any other upcoming events that anybody would like to mention?
On April 2nd, it's the first Saturday in April, the Autism Project of Southern Ohio is hosting an Autism Awareness Day in Wheelersburg, Ohio, from 1 o'clock until 4 o'clock. We're going to have live music and all sorts of events and demonstrations. It's also being hosted by the coffee shop in Wheelersburg, Adam's Flying Pig.
In here, love it.
And yes,
yeah,
it was awesome. And Adam is also an individual with autism. So,
and so is it going to be there at the coffee shop or in the parking lot? Hopefully
in the parking lot.
Okay. So hopefully they're hoping for good weather. So
there will be good weather.
We'll pray on that.
Well, where is it again?
It's in
where is it?
Wheelersburg, Ohio, at a coffee shop called Adam's Flying Pig. Jessica, do you have
Adam's Flying Pig.
Yep. Yes. And that's Teresa, do you have any kind of flyer on that, or is it on Facebook?
It is on Facebook, the Southern Ohio Autism Project on Facebook.
Okay, let me look that up real quick, and I can share it with you guys. I did not realize that Adam had autism.
Yes.
Southern Ohio Autism. If I can type, Awareness Project.
Also known as.
I was gonna say, Teresa, were you asking for the address for Adam's Flying Pig?
Yes.
It is 9107 Ohio River Road, Wheelersburg.
Yeah.
And if you're familiar with Wheelersburg, it's right there in the parking lot next to Kroger's.
Yeah. It's very easy. And now in Southern Ohio, if you're coming from the Chillicothe, Waverly, Jackson area, they have the new big, beautiful bypass. And sorry, Portsmouth, it bypasses you guys, but man, it makes the trip to Wheelersburg a lot quicker.
Did you guys happen to see the episode of American Idol Sunday night?
If I can. No, I haven't not been watching that.
They had a gentleman on there who made it to the next round of auditions that had autism. He's in his mid-30s.
Okay, cool. All right, let's see here. Copy link, save. Copy.
Travis, I seen them talking about that, and another show that I was watching was talking about that gentleman and how his mother was labeling him as like high functioning.
Yes.
So now people keep referring to him as his name, high functioning autism, instead of just his name. Now
Right.
they keep also referring.
I didn't like the like,
Oh, it's
his functioning.
Melinda, is that you talking?
she's breaking up.
Yeah, breaking up. I think bad Wi-Fi connection.
I didn't. The judges seemed to talk to him in more of a kind of semi-condescending way, which kind of didn't set well with me. Kind of coddling like he was a 12-year-old,
Right.
you know, and that's not the way they should have talked to him. Hey, it is what it is.
Right. Well, here, let me share my screen. I did find this on Facebook. This here is
I just have to.
it's cool. Their t-shirts say caffeinate and advocate.
I'm
It's
trying to
neat.
get the.
But yeah, informational booths, sensory activities, and they're calling it Autism Acceptance Day.
Why it won't turn up.
So I'll definitely share information through our distribution email list for that, for anybody who would like to attend. Okay, cool. Well, thank you, Teresa. That's a neat one. All right, any other upcoming events?
I'm just kind of curious what everybody else is doing for Disability Awareness Month.
Yeah, do you guys want to talk about that? Pickaway, what are you guys doing for?
Okay, everybody.
Let me try muting somebody. Hold on just a second. There we go. That sounds better.
We're not doing too much other than the Rock Your Socks thing, and we usually have community basketball games around this time of the year, but those have been back burner for the last couple of years.
COVID. Yeah, and they're fun. They were. I think I went to the last ones.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, Scioto County. What are you guys doing?
We had. Okay.
Bill, while you're doing that, Allison, I see that you said selling t-shirts, selling pizza at the Elks Lodge with a concert by Felony 4 on March 18th at 5:30. So that's what's going on here in Ross County.
Yep.
Oh, that's
March
cool.
18th.
Okay, Felony 4 is awesome. They travel around Southern Ohio, if any of you guys have seen them before. So that is March 18th and at the Elks Lodge here in Chillicothe.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Like I think the concert itself is free, but like things like food and other goodies you have to pay for.
Okay. All right. So that's at the Elks. And does that have a certain title to it, that event?
I don't think so.
Okay. You said the Facebook link is broken?
Yeah, the one that you sent out earlier. I clicked on it and
Oh,
it says
that
this
one.
page is broken.
Okay. I'll make sure I get information out about the Wheelersburg event. Allison, would you mind emailing me information on the Chillicothe event for March 18th? Because is that Friday or Saturday? That's
This Friday.
night. Okay, Friday night. If you guys like rock, Felony 4 is kind of like, I'm not great with my music, but rock, I think more. They're really good. Okay, and then Bill, did you have something?
Okay. 2. It. And. Hopefully. It was. Will. Grow.
We hosted a watch party,
Bigger.
the Awareness
We
Day.
had a watch event for the PD Awareness Day.
Oh,
which
cool.
we had some students came to it, and hopefully it will grow bigger.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We did that. We had pizza. We are highlighting, spotlighting an individual with disabilities every week in the newspaper this month. We are going to be in the St. Patrick's Day Parade this Saturday.
Fun.
And we're having a student staff basketball game in lieu of our usual Hardwood Heroes basketball game this year.
Cool. Is the St. Patty's Day Parade there in downtown Portsmouth?
It is.
Fun. Okay, neat. Yeah, a lot going on. Did anybody attend DD Awareness Day at the State House in person? Or did everybody attend virtually?
I went virtually.
Yeah, so did I. I was going to take Alan Blue, and then he backed out on me at the last minute. He's an advocate from Ross. He backed out on me in the last minute, so I decided to attend virtually as well.
I did have to on the last speaker, the gentleman that was in the car accident.
Yeah.
The former lawyer.
Yeah.
How was his presentation? I didn't get a chance to see the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, it was really good. And I'm pretty sure they recorded that. I don't know if it's still on their website. I'm trying to, I think they have a specific, they have a Facebook here. I wonder if they shared that. Yeah, live from Columbus about 2 weeks ago. It looks like you can watch it. Let me see if I can share that link. Yeah, it's about an hour and 50 minutes long. Let's see here. I'll figure out how to share that.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll send that out in an email after we get off their meeting. Okay, great. Awesome. Well, have a good month, and try to participate in as much as you can and support your own county's efforts and your surrounding. Great events. Okay, awesome, Sherry. Do you want to go ahead and with the agenda and introduce our guest presentation?
Is Jason here to do that thing?
Actually, Jason,
Ableism?
sorry, Sherry. Jason needed the day off, so Tina and I are going to fill in for him.
Okay, great.
Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Yep. So we have the Southern Ohio Disability Equity Coalition here with us. And and they're going to be talking about what is ableism. And if you guys have not heard that term, good, because you're going to hear it today and you're going to know what that means. Travis,
Courtney.
explain a little bit to me. Yes, Travis.
I'm gonna need to log off and log back in real quick. My volume is being stupid.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. I'll let you back in.
Thank you.
All right, so Tina and Autumn, I'll hand it over to you guys.
Sure. Could you make me a co-host or somehow allow me to share, Courtney?
Yes, hopefully I just did that. See if it works.
Oh, let's see. Okay. Yep, there it is.
Perfect.
Fabulous.
And just so you guys know, we do record our meetings and put links on our YouTube channel. So yeah, you'll be famous after this on YouTube.
Great. All right. Yep, it's working fine. All right. So Travis is logging back in, but Travis assisted us in helping make this presentation.
Cool. Go Travis. He's back on.
All right. So as Courtney had shared, we're the Southeastern Ohio Disability Equity Coalition. We're a little over a year old. And the intention of this coalition is much like your advocacy group, focusing on advocacy. Ours is to come together, hopefully reach everyone in Southeastern Ohio to be a part of this in whatever way people would like to be a part of it, but really focusing on helping educate our communities on ableism, and that people with disabilities are still not treated equally to other people. And this year, our team has decided to provide these facilitations that Tina will share a little bit more about on the next slide, but to also focus on supported decision-making as an alternative before someone needs their guardianship revoked. And so that's kind of the adventure we're going to go on this year.
So today, in our disability equity discussion session, we're going to talk about obviously ableism, and we'll also discuss, as Autumn said, supported decision making. We really are striving to have folks with disabilities actually running all of these sessions and making those presentations and reaching out in the community and obtaining leadership positions out in the community as well. So that's what we'll talk about today. And we'll also, you'll see instances of ableism, and you'll be able to share any stories that you want to share regarding ableism.
So Jason Licht was to be the facilitator today, and at the last minute he needed to duck out. But the Athens County Board of Developmental Disabilities, we took a proposal to them and asked them to fund paying our facilitators for each session. So Tina and I will just be doing this as coordination for Integrate Athens, but as people on the disability equity team create their own PowerPoint from this slideshow, they'll be paid to present. So in this session, we're going to be discussing, we'll introduce some important terms, and then we're going to learn more about ableism. We'll have some time as we go through this and you think about some things you want to share, we'll have some time for some conversations. We'd love to hear from our advocates in Ohio, some of your experiences with ableism or not being treated fairly, so that we can share those and use those to help people learn and grow. And then at the end, we're hoping that you'll find something to take away from here that kind of inspires you to help us promote equity.
So ableism. Ableism is discrimination or prejudice against people with disabilities. Ableism is discrimination in favor of an able-bodied person.
So ableism, it affects people, it discriminates against people. It's definitely a put down. And then, it treats people with disabilities like they do not matter. All of those things we want to change.
Now, you might be an ableist if, here's your sign.
I don't know if anyone remembers Bill Engvall and the comedian. So we did a spin-off.
Here's your sign.
So you are an ableist when you have called someone who is not mentally diagnosed with an intellectual disability retarded as a way to insult them. By the way, the R word is no longer acceptable ever.
You are an ableist when you describe yourself as OCD without having personal experiences with mental illness.
You are an ableist when you have taken a handicapped parking spot, even though you are not a person with a disability.
You are you assume that people with disabilities only live to inspire an able-bodied person, and you pity people with disabilities.
So you should know, ableism can target all disabilities: physical, intellectual, mental health, and sensory. Ableism affects people in ways that folks without disabilities cannot understand. So anyone participating in this today who have life experience with a disability, people without a disability really cannot understand the ways that you're treated or left out in the same way, because we have not had that experience.
These are types of ableism. How many times have you tried to assist somebody with a disability when they never asked you to? And how many times have you come to the entrance of a building you would like to go into and how do I get in?
Travis has shared numerous stories with us about this.
Mm-hmm.
We've learned a lot. So disability equity, equity means fairness. And so we're wanting to help people with disabilities always feel like they're treated fairly and equally in our community. So some people are more disadvantaged than others in being able to access services and facilities. That's not okay. And there is a responsibility for all of our communities and our friends and neighbors and leaders, to address those, that lack of equity.
Disability inclusion means understanding the relationship between the way people function and how they participate in society. It gives everybody the same opportunities to participate in every aspect of life to the best of their abilities and desires.
I stole your slide. Won't be the first one.
Well,
so let's have a conversation. I'll unshare for a moment. So we would love to hear, we wanted to introduce those terms to everyone: ableism, disability, equity, as we work towards helping everyone feel included. We'd love to hear, what people have experienced. Have you experienced ableism or witnessed it? You can unmute or type in the chat.
You can share how it made you feel and how it's impacted your life.
Well, this is Courtney here, and I just learned a little bit. I think that before I was in the world of developmental disabilities and before I was educated as much as I am now, I definitely was not a victim, able, how do I even say that?
Ableist?
Yeah,
Were you an
ableist. I was an
ableist?
ableist
I've been
in
an
some time.
ableist too.
Yes, yes. And I think that you don't even realize it. Like the OCD comment, I say that all the time about myself, and I didn't even realize that I was being an ableist. And so that's definitely something that now I can be aware of. And I think opening doors for people or assisting people who didn't ask for help, and I just wasn't aware of that. So I think that that's good that we're talking about this stuff.
I have been an ableist and experienced ableism, if that makes any sense. I don't like asking for help, but I'm willing to help others if needed, open doors, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So without them even asking. So it's kind of a two-way street type of thing. There was a point where I went to Washington, DC one time, and I was trying to get up to the Lincoln Memorial and sit by Abe, if you know what I'm saying. And they didn't really have any signs showing where there's a door for us to do that. So you have to kind of go up closer to the building to figure that out. But I made it work because there is an elevator, but it's just not very noticeable and whatnot.
So they need more signage, you think? Like
Or
directing people to
bigger signage. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
ramp that goes to the door that goes into the building where you can get into the elevator, but there's not really a big sign that says, hey, here's where the elevator is. You know what I mean? I must have had that look of like, oh crap, where's the elevator type of thing? Or how do I get up there? Or is there a way to get up there? And then somebody that was working in the area is the one that showed me that there's an actual way to get up to sit by Abe on the actual up the steps. So via the access to the elevator. But it's not, like I said, it's not very noticeable, or it's not very, didn't have a sign on it that's big enough for somebody to see it from a distance, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, I think that happens so often, Travis, and it's such a simple fix. And we've been meeting and talking here in Athens County with different organizations about leadership opportunities. And last month we met with festival and event coordinators, and they were all, what we find is all of these people, so I'm sure the people who do the parks and things in DC, they don't want to exclude you. They don't want to exclude a person using a wheelchair. They don't want to exclude people who need some sensory adaptations. They just aren't thinking about it, don't know what to do. And if we present them with those, like that information in a quick, easy how-to, like just some signs, extra signs that point a person that needs to use a ramp or a elevator in the right direction quickly, goes a long way to remind you that you are a part of our community, you do matter, and we want to make sure you participate. You should go this way.
And I'm glad that they actually did that, because, there's the rule in the ADA that you can be grandfathered in if you're a building that's a certain age where you don't have to be accessible, or have to be modified to be accessible, from what I've understood.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad with, the monument being as old as it is, they took the time to actually modify it to where somebody can get up to where they want to be. But like I said, the lack of signage of, hey, there's an elevator over here where you get there. Because I'm sure I'm not the only one that said, hey, how do I get up those steps?
Because you want it to be welcoming.
Right.
No.
Right.
For
Yeah.
everyone.
Absolutely. And we were talking about that earlier before you guys signed on, the whole Americans with Disabilities Act. They say that places are accessible by like especially hotels with grab bars in the bathroom, and I told you guys many times, I don't use the grab bars. I don't need the grab bars, but So they should name the ADA like Americans with Limitations Act or something, because it's not, Disabilities Act doesn't mean just, I can't get in the bathroom or I need a grab bar to get in the shower. If you go to a hotel, there's, what about the people who are short statured that can't reach the sink, or person who is deaf that without any knowledge can't see that the fire alarm is going off inside their room? You know what I mean? There should be a light or something on the ceiling that detects that, hey, that's a fire and you need to get out of the building as ASAP. Or even having like Braille menus or Braille information in the rooms themselves, so people who are blind can read those pieces of information about the hotel or about the areas or areas to eat and whatnot that are in the hotel rooms,
And specific rooms that are quiet for sensory.
Right, exactly. The ADA does not look at the whole entire picture, in my opinion, of disability. That's why I don't think it should be it's called the ADA. It should be the Limitations Act or something, because that would encompass everybody, not just a person who's in a wheelchair or a person who needs grab bars in a bathroom or a wider door,
Right. Yeah, it's a great start to some guidelines that people should have, like something to meet. But you're right, Travis, the really important thing to accommodating. And so this is something as advocates, the important thing that you can do as an advocate is kindly take the time, for one, to be a little patient with our communities that don't quite get it sometimes, but take the time to explain, if you can, to a hotel manager, a restaurant manager, to nicely just have a conversation about how it isn't meeting your needs, and maybe give them some ideas. And that's a little frustrating, because it would be really nice if people went and found this information on their own and were more prepared. But what we're finding as we talk in our, disability equity group is they're not. And the best way to help them get there is to introduce yourself, help them understand that a person with a disability actually is coming to their, business, or wants to, and would spend money there if they were accommodating. And the next step is maybe not so kind, is putting your money where accessibility is, and remembering that, if something isn't accessible, letting people know that we should spend our money elsewhere at a place that is inclusive of everyone.
But I also see back, like, say, hotels, for instance, you only stay in a hotel usually if you're going on vacation or whatever it may be. There's some people out there, they feel that if they do complain, that puts a damper kind of on their vacation. That's the last of their worries. They just want to go to have a good time and not worry about fixing the problem on a vacation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Lots of people have been successful, though, is, like with Airbnbs or hotels, they all have online review systems. And it's not even a matter of being mean and nasty as much as saying, hey, I'm Autumn. I use a walker or an assistive device. And when I stayed at this hotel, it didn't work for me. So it might not work for you too. You might call and ask them more specifically about their accommodations.
And I've also noticed that even though, like, say, for instance, like a Holiday Inn or whatever, or a Margaritaville or whatever it may be, how different each of their hotels are. Actually, they're not all built the same way. Room layouts are never the same. That's my opinion.
Yeah, that makes sense. So what about anyone else that's joining us? Have you experienced ableism or seen ableism?
Bill would like to say something.
Sure, Sherry.
I know when I go to shopping places, you see nearly all of the parking places are taken. And when you get inside, you don't notice no one who should have a parking license.
But because somebody has a parking or a handicap placard or one of the disability placards, not all disabilities are visible, if you get what I'm saying.
So it could be, you're right, Sherry. I think I've seen that as well. It could be that there's not enough parking spaces for the number of people that need them, but there really could be people who are using parking spaces. They could be using someone else's placard. So I think, one of the best ideas is to, the more we can educate the community to realize that if you're taking an accessible parking space and you don't truly need one, you really are impacting somebody else who needs that up close, or either up close parking or parking that accommodates their lift vehicle or something like that. We do see that, we hear that a lot, Sherry, and parking has been a big issue, and rarely do businesses have their parking spaces even marked properly.
Here's my question, to piggyback that, Autumn, here's my question. So when a hotel is built, they, based on the number of rooms in that hotel, is the number of accessible rooms they have to have in that hotel, based on the total number of rooms that are in the hotel itself. I wonder if that's the same for like a public parking area. You know what I'm saying? Do they have to have a certain number of parking spots per however many people are occupying that building? Or however.
Yes. There. Oop, go ahead, one sec here, Sherry, go ahead.
Okay, I've got something to say.
Yep.
We got a ramp on side of our car on the side. But for us to get out, that side part, for the ramps, it needs to be bigger because it's hard to get out with the ramp and get on the side. But once I go on the bottom of the ramp, there's hardly no room to turn to get turned either way.
Does that happen?
And
That happens a lot.
And those parking places, I understand the parking, but the spaces beside the parking places, they need to be bigger so we could get out of the car and go toward where we're going.
So the blue lines that are beside your parking
Yeah.
space need to be bigger.
Yes.
Do you have, Sherry, is there somewhere that you do go shopping or eating or out to that have really good parking that you like that we could use as an example?
Okay, say that one more time, please.
So you go out and about, is there somewhere in your town that has really good accessible parking that you would say, great job, that we could use as an example?
Who can we talk to?
Do you have somewhere? Is there even one that exists?
Yeah.
No. Those lines.
Yeah.
And there will be another car beside us after those lines. And it's hard to turn around. Now, if there's no car there, we could get out and turn. But sometimes those spaces are too small.
Sherry, what about the when you guys go park at the hospital? Do you have good parking there? Do you ever have any issues like at Southern Ohio Medical Center or?
Yeah, sometimes the hospital is
The
difficult
worst?
too.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I was trying to think of somewhere that would be a good example, but yeah, it's probably
Something-
hard.
something we could have a picture of and say what it is or where it is or something and go, yay.
So
What about the ones at like Walmart that they have them sideways? You know, they're
I-
not like next
Oh,
to a
yeah.
mirror,
Yeah.
but they
I
park
was
them
gonna,
other-
I was gonna bring that.
We'll say something else.
I was gonna bring that up with the sideways parking lots or the sideways parking spaces. Who wants to unload into oncoming traffic that's driving by you?
Right.
Or
Point.
park the opposite way, you're parked towards the car that's in the next parking spot over. You know,
We need a
But-
car,
here's my
Yeah.
other,
a lift, a ramp in the back.
Yeah.
That's the kind of car we need.
here's
Yeah.
my other thought, you know, when you go to restaurants and whatnot, and they have those extra little loading areas with the lines,
Coming.
then once you get down out of that into that little loading area, the ramp's completely opposite where you need to be. You either have to go around the parking lot to the front,
Traffic.
or around your car to the other side where the parking or where the ramp is to get up onto the curb.
Yeah.
The ramp not always necessarily where the unloading spot marked off.
One.
So it sounds like Sherry, you were talking about instead of a side ramp on your vehicle, having one in the back. And we hear the same thing though about people who use the rear loading. They're unloading into traffic, and so it's
Right.
dangerous. You can get out of there easier, except you might become like a Frogger gone bad.
You might have to like dodge some traffic for sure.
Yeah. Well, this should be something we all think about, and maybe we can spend some time making a video or a project about parking. So anyone can get any pictures of parking issues, you know, Sherry, when you're getting out of your van and you can't get off the ramp, if you could get a picture of that. That could be something great that we could use to show why it's a problem. And you could get that to Travis, and Travis can get that, or Courtney can get that to us as well.
We'll say something else.
Sure.
Was. Coming. At.
Here, you can see Bill.
S. H. S. H. S. H. Same. Time. But that is in oncoming traffic. And one time I went down the ramp and a car was coming at same time.
Raise your hand.
Wow, that was pretty dangerous. So that, yeah, does that happen a lot?
Yeah. This is Bill.
Hi, Bill. Thanks for sharing that.
Hi, Bill.
So when you're unloading, you end up into oncoming traffic. And yeah, it's super not safe. And that's on a good day when there's not rain or snow or all of those extra things that make it risky. So all of these things you guys are talking about with parking is ableism. It's not people being mean intentionally. They just really aren't thinking about Walmart. You know, Jess brought up Walmart, and Walmart meets, like Travis said, ADA standards most of the time. And it just, even though it's compliant with the law, it is not helping any of you with accessibility needs get into the community better or safer.
Right.
So that's all ableism.
Yeah, I went to Walmart once, and a lady was standing in the handicap spot, and we asked her if we could park there, and she said no, because she was standing there holding the spot for her person, a friend of hers that was driving there currently. So we ended up just kind of nudging our way into that parking spot, and moving her out of it. By the time her friend got there, she didn't have a place to park.
Yeah, because they probably experienced the same thing that Sherry was just talking about, and Bill, about there's not enough parking spaces. So somebody else was trying to help their friend out, and in the end, it was going to hurt you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So,
Maybe, maybe we should try to figure out and design the perfect parking space.
Ooh.
What's the word perfect mean? There's nothing's perfect.
I know, I'm Travis.
Hey, now listen,
After I
guys.
said it, I knew you were gonna jump on me, man.
They're figuring out all of these stores like Kroger and Walmart. They're figuring out the perfect parking spaces for grocery pickup. Maybe that's something we look at is like, is that space, that designated space, would that work for our accessible or modified vehicles? Gives you enough space.
Yeah.
Nobody else parks beside you. It's clearly like, I mean, everybody knows like that's that designated area.
Right.
So look at that next time you go to Kroger or Walmart, look at those spaces and say, would that work?
Yeah. Hey, Jason Licht. Jason Licht has graced our presence, everybody. We get a pop in. That's awesome. Oh, you're muted or?
No, he's not muted at the moment. His
We can't
mic.
hear you, Jay.
Jason, we're talking about parking spaces and ableism regarding parking.
Hmm.
Do you have your volume turned up because we can't hear you?
He can hear us.
Oh.
Huh.
I'm not sure, Jason. Maybe your microphone or something is not plugged in or was being used on another app. Sometimes the other app can be holding it hostage. I knew that. I learned that. Well, Jason, we were just wrapping up talking a little bit more about ableism. And then this group has more of a meeting to do. You still have more to go through, Courtney?
You guys are our last bit. So
okay.
I was talking to them before you guys joined. I was talking about how you guys voiced major concern about your attendance this month. We actually did pretty good today. I'm very happy with the attendance that we had today compared to the last few months. So you know, I think we're just dying to get back to in-person events. But we're going to continue to try to keep a virtual option as well. We do return because because we're a region and because you know, there's so many transportation issues out there, which is another topic we could talk about. But yeah, we're hopeful that maybe COVID's kind of getting out of the clear a little bit. We can kind of get back to a little bit of normalcy with our regular routine schedule. But just so you guys know, we are the Southern Ohio Advocacy Group. I don't know how long we've been around. I've been with the SOCOG for 3.5 years now, and it's been there ever since I've been there. But in-person events we hold in Chillicothe, and we would get anywhere from like 40 to 60 advocates come. So, you know, this virtual world has been hard, but we're getting through it. So we would love to partner with you guys. You know, if you guys have any projects, or, you know, we're both in the same region basically. So, you know, I think one of the things that I kind of have seen in the last year or two really is a lot of our really strong advocates that we get in our meetings and that are in leadership position in our meetings also get invited to all the other advocacy meetings around the state, not just you guys, but, you know, around the state. I know Sherry is our acting president right now, and she is also on the COOL project, you know, out of Columbus or Delaware, wherever that one's out of. So, you know, I think that that's something that us facilitators really need to kind of get together and kind of talk through of like, how can we work together more? But yeah, your guys' that's where my ideas are right now.
I think that sounds great. Were you going to say something a second ago, Travis?
If I did, it's gone out of my brain. I don't know.
Oh, sorry, Travis.
It's all good.
So Yeah, I agree, Courtney. Yeah, we don't want to be dividing people out. We want to be joining efforts. And I think what it's come down to with our Disability Equity Coalition is supported decision-making
Yeah.
sort of surfaced.
Yeah.
So I think that's what this year, our team wants to learn more about supported decision-making and be able to promote that to other people with disabilities as an option before someone is working towards taking guardianship away.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think every member of our group could, I would encourage to attend your meetings to talk about that, because it's kind of some new language and new stuff that our whole community is hearing and learning about, and it's awesome. And I think that we as advocates need to educate our county boards, our SSAs. I think there's a whole big world there. So yeah, so anybody that's on this meeting today, I definitely suggest you, I can share your guys's. Do you guys have an email or a website where your meeting information is?
I think we'll be, yeah, I think once we're still really into right in the beginning phases of getting things like that together.
Okay.
Because we took this first year just to try and figure out what we were going to become, what the need was. So I think we'll probably be housing that on Integrate Athens, at least the links to things. But I think, hearing like Sherry and Bill, Travis talking about parking and things, we can definitely help out with some projects and things.
Yeah.
We do a lot of promotional things for like DD Awareness Month, different things like that. And so we could eventually start reaching out to your team to have you all help tell your stories and pull some things together, make a resource that's not just Athens County, but that you can all use to share with businesses or providers or whatever you're trying to teach people about. We can help with that as well through Integrate Athens or this Disability Equity Coalition. And we're doing some training things with our coalition, but I really think we've been talking just about having our SODEC, those disability equity meetings quarterly.
Okay.
And then making sure we're partnering more with groups like your guys's on some of your efforts.
Yeah.
in between.
And we've even kind of thought about doing something quarterly as well, more in person, and having it more of a conference type of setup where we have groups, presenters kind of come in and kind of have a couple hour day of just presentations and more of a social event where together and we can just talk and support each other. And then kind of having our virtual meetings. So yeah, we're just kind of in that phase of like, what are we going to be and how can we get back to being a little bit more effective? But definitely want to share your meetings and upcoming events or projects with our team for sure. And would love to collaborate. Yep.
Great. Well, thanks for having us. Thanks for popping in, Jason.
Yeah, thank you, Jason. Does anybody have any questions for Jason, Autumn, or Tina before they head out?
Nope, I just want to thank you guys for doing this. This is pretty awesome.
Yep.
Also, I put the Integrate Athens Facebook page link in the chat.
Perfect.
If you ever want to.
Yep, I will go like you guys now. Okay, good. Awesome. All right, well, thank you again so much. And Sherry, I will let you adjourn the meeting if we don't have any other questions, comments, or concerns.
I don't see her on here.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there she is.
She's here.
Yes. First of all, to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second, what?
Travis made a motion.
Bill, second the motion.
All right, perfect. Thanks, Bill. All right, guys. Well, you guys have a wonderful month. We're gonna actually have some spring weather coming, so get out, enjoy, and try to support your community events and regional events with DD Awareness Month, and you know, educate people. That's what we got to do.
Hey, Autumn and Tina,
Yeah.
real quick.
Sure.
I don't know if you guys are aware of what March 21st is. March 21st is World Down Syndrome Day.
Oh, thank you, Travis.
And on that day, Pickaway County rocks different crazy socks on those days. And if you guys want to do that, just hashtag rock your socks Pickaway. And that's all I have.
I rarely have matching socks, so I bet I'll be ready that day.
There you
That's great.
go.
All right,
You're
awesome,
rocking your
guys.
socks every day.
Yeah.
Every day, man.
All right, guys.
All right, happy DD Awareness Month.
Yeah,
Bye,
you
guys.
too.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.